to another edition of HCS Spotlight, where we like to go out and shine the spotlight on HCS students and faculty for something special that they've received or done. And today is my great pleasure to be with Chef Roger Ramsey.
Thank you, sir.
From here at EC3. We're at the EC3 taping EC3 Really Cooks today. Our new season of that starts. But Roger, I wanted to speak with you about this special honor that you received, and I wrote it down because it's quite a mouthful. It is the ProStart Program's State Educator of Excellence and National Educator of Excellence in Best Practices and Knowledge Sharing. So that is a lot.
It is.
So briefly go over what that means.
Okay. Well, first off, ProStart, to understand it, it's a curriculum we teach. It's endorsed by the National Restaurant Association. So that's where the term ProStart comes from. There's an individual under the Kentucky Restaurant Association who's our ProStart coordinator. Each state except for North Dakota has a ProStart coordinator. They're working on getting theirs now. But ours, his name's Jim Lyon. Bless his heart, he passed away on us yesterday. But he nominated me as the Commonwealth of Kentucky Educator of Excellence. And his point of view was, we partake in culinary competitions, particularly ProStart and a few others. There will be events come up throughout the year, fundraisers for the Kentucky Restaurant Association. My kids love to jump in and go help with that, and a few other events. So that's how I became the Commonwealth of Kentucky Educator of Excellence, through Jim's nomination and motion by the Kentucky Restaurant Association. Along with that, there were, I believe, about 38 of us across the nation that were Educators of Excellence representing states. We had packages submitted to the National Restaurant Association, and of those 38 packages, they picked 4 as National Educators of Excellence. One is the Teacher of the Year. That's the Grand Poobah. I met the man. He deserved the accolades he got. Other than that, there are 3 categorized Educators of Excellence. Mine happens to be in best practice and knowledge sharing. There's one for community involvement, industry involvement, and then there's one just on classroom instruction. So that's I was nominated and selected by the Kentucky Restaurant Association to represent the Commonwealth as Educator of Excellence, and then was one of the 4 that the National Restaurant Association picked as their Educators of Excellence.
All right. Well, congratulations
Thank you, sir.
on that. That's a high honor for you, and maybe more to come in the future.
Well, I think this is probably kind of a pinnacle deal. It is a big deal, and it's not all my doing. Again, my kids, my students, they partake in the competitions. They always step up. I have a few things outside the classroom that probably helped. Aside from the cooking show that you just mentioned, EC3 Really Cooks, also had a newspaper article once a month in the News Enterprise, their lifestyle section. I was fortunate enough to be allowed to be a mentor for an online Escoffier pastry school student. I even have a little ministry of sorts up on Glendale Hill, the old Wesley Hilltop house. They've let me hang out for the last couple of years and make a meal for them on Sunday. We call it Dinner Church, 5 o'clock, Glendale Hill, if you're interested. So we provide a meal for the community, and after they eat, they get a message, and so that's near and dear to my heart as well. It's not something I did all by myself.
Absolutely.
And no man's an island.
Exactly. Well, great work you're doing, and we really appreciate that. We did mention a little bit about EC3 Really Cooks. We're starting a new season.
We are.
So for those who may not have seen the show in the past, what exactly is EC3 Really Cooks?
EC3 Really Cooks is a program on Hardin County Education Community Television and YouTube. And myself and generally Bobby Thompson, who's one of our co-teachers here at EC3, we'll come up with a menu or just some dishes to spotlight something. So today we're going to be doing 3 ingredient dishes. We'll take some shortcuts. Y'all find that later when it gets there. And then we're also going to film a second episode this afternoon where we're just going to work with ground meats. But we will find a theme and just prepare a number of dishes just to show folks how it all comes together. Not everything that has to be complicated to be good. So, and that's kind of the thesis for the newspaper article as well. It's called Make It Yourself. But the program, it's just we will find a theme and build some dishes around it, and you'll just kind of show folks it doesn't have to be complicated.
And I feel that same way because I generally prefer for myself is uncomplicated food, fried chicken or meatloaf or whatever. Not a lot of ingredients, not a lot of spicy stuff for me personally. So yeah, that's great.
We've done everything from celebration meals where we did surf and turf with lobster and filet. We've done beef Wellington. We've done Chinese takeout day. One of the programs we're going to do for this season is just working with chicken thighs because they're cheap and they're tasty. Some of them are simplistic, some of them are a little more elevated, but we try to break it down into smaller steps. Anybody put this stuff together.
Fantastic. So obviously be looking forward to new episodes of that coming up in the fall and probably the spring as well. So lastly, Chef, let's talk a little bit about the culinary arts pathway here at EC3. What all does that entail?
Okay. Well, the fun parts I hang out with kids and we get to cook. And then we eat what we make. But there's a little more to it. What we try to do is expose the students to what the industry is about. So not only are we making food pretty much daily, but we're also looking at the business aspects and cost and professionalism and communication and just all those things to fit together, soft skills, that keeps the industry afloat and keeps it working. There's more to it. I mean, making the food's the fun part. It's the easy part. But there's a business to be had too. Sure. So we're going to look at all those different aspects. We'll spend a unit talking about meats and poultry and seafoods. We'll spend a unit talking about international foods. If you can understand the foods of a country, it's a little easier to understand the history. Topography is involved in food. So there's a major aspect of sociology, for lack of a better word, on a nation's foods, just on where they're at. Example I like to use is Korea, known as the land of fire and ice. They have a very short growing season, a long cold winter, and that's why they have so many preserved foods. So what you understand, and then you have to figure who's been in and out. Think about how Europe and the Great Wars and the influences that Germany may have had on France or Poland on whomever, and just who's coming and going. It's kind of interesting if you can put add food to the sociology of a country, if that makes sense. So we'll do a unit on the bake shop. We'll make everything from pies and cookies and up to, we like cupcakes because we can do those in a day or two. Even layer cakes and sheet cakes on occasion. So, but we try to incorporate all the aspects, as many as we can, about the actual industry into the classroom. The cooking part's the fun part, but there's more to it than that.
Well, that sounds great. So, and you've got a new group of students coming in?
We do. We teach Culinary 1 and Culinary 2, so a few of my kids will be coming back from last year, or maybe even the year before for Culinary 2. And then my co-chef, Linda Lowe, she has introduction class. So I'll be getting some of the kids that have been into Introduction to Culinary Arts in my Culinary 1 class now. So I know a handful of them.
Fantastic.
And I'll know all of them before they leave.
Great. Well, Chef, thank you for joining us today. Congratulations again on your honor.
Thank you, sir.
And good luck with another season of EC3 Real Good Cooks and another, school year for the Culinary Arts pathway. And thanks for joining us. And thank you for joining us on HCS Spotlight.